Hello.
Before we get to the movie, do you remember the first DVD you ever watched?
No.
All right. Do you remember the first R-rated movie you ever saw?
Is Raiders of the Lost Ark rated R?
No.
His face melts.
It's
no,
PG.
Okay.
Temple of Doom's PG-13, one of the first. A guy gets his heart ripped out of his chest.
I remember that.
PG-13.
I'm going to say that's the first R-rated movie I saw because it felt pretty R-rated to me. My real first one, I think, was Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction was one of the first DVDs I ever saw.
Oh.
And I was obsessed with the foreign language function. Samuel Jackson speaking French.
Not subtitles. Actual,
the
like,
spoken
dub.
language. I thought, this is the future. Welcome back to the basement, Paul Guzzi, and welcome to all of you to the month of July, which we call Sci-fi July. This is a sci-fi adventure story.
Ooh.
We're going to get swept up in it.
Okay.
We're going to go to different worlds, Paul, because we're going to take a trip through the Stargate.
Oh, I have not seen this, I think. Awesome.
Released in 1994, Stargate was directed by Roland Emmerich and stars Kurt Russell, James Spader, and Jay Davidson. The director and screenwriter, Dean Devlin, intended the story to be a trilogy and wanted to make 2 sequels, but this never happened. However, the film did spawn a television series, Stargate SG-1, starring Richard Dean Anderson,
MacGyver,
and Michael Shanks in the title roles, which ran for 10 years. It also spawned an animated series, 3 spin-off television series, 2 direct-to-DVD films, a comic book series, and 5 novels.
Will I be scared, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know your heart and mind.
I will tell you. I'll share it with you if I have fear.
Okay, that's good. Jay Davidson disliked the attention that he received after portraying the character of Dill in The Crying Game, and was reluctant to take a role in Stargate. He made what he expected to be an unacceptable demand of $1 million, which the studio accepted, and he took the role. He had such a bad experience shooting Stargate that he retired from acting and has never appeared in a feature film since.
My memory of this is first seeing it probably in the video store sometime in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And then in the next 15 years seeing it online and never deciding to watch it. I've said no to this movie 100 times, and now it is inescapable.
That is one of the main themes of this show. Well, I have a gift for you. That's the custom on this show. First of all, I have
Good.
the gift that I gave you last time that you forgot to take with you.
Yep.
At least I hope you forgot. It's desktop bowling. So there you go. And to go along with that, I have desktop ladder toss.
Wow.
I want to transform your desk into a carnival of amusements.
A lot of choking hazards.
You told me how old your kids are. They're
For
past...
me. I just like this. You don't know.
Well, put on your beret and go on over past the pyramid to the old leather couch where we'll be sitting down and enjoying some sci-fi here in July as we watch Stargate.
So Stargate, Hi.
1928, Giza, Egypt. Hello, Salah. Take me to the Well of Souls.
Right?
An archaeological dig has unearthed the giant circle.
And then that's all that happened then.
In the present day,
Dr. Daniel Jackson
is an Egyptologist, and he's giving a lecture that is not very popular. His peers think he's a buffoon,
and it was raining.
but this old lady thinks otherwise.
Jackson, those your parents?
Did they have any children who lived? She's got a project for him to work on that he is perfectly suited for.
Translation. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs.
That's about it. And then,
Meanwhile, elsewhere, Colonel Jack O'Neill sits in his son's bedroom. He is very troubled. He's about to ask himself if life is worth living, should he blast himself. Some Marines show up and tell him that they got a mission for him. He's real sad, though, because his son recently died. Creek Mountain, Colorado is where Dr. Jackson and Colonel O'Neill are going.
Dr. Jackson? Hello. Dr. Gary Myers, how are you?
Richard Kind.
yes, it is.
Young Richard. They've got a team of researchers there who are trying to decipher the hieroglyphics.
Now, there's 2 lines of hieroglyphs.
This is a younger, decidedly less wacky Richard Kind.
Yeah, his sweater's messed up, though.
But as soon as Dr. Jackson arrives, he sees that they've done it all wrong. Translates the words correctly. They meet with the military brass.
I have some stuff to look at. You just passed.
Everybody gets a rolling paper.
We're going to roll some Fat ass doobies.
Stargate doobers.
To find a destination within any three-dimensional space, we need 6 points.
Now, gentlemen, if you roll this for initiative, we can get started.
There's only 6 symbols in the cartouche.
Cartouche, cartouche, will you do the fandango?
That symbol isn't anywhere on the device.
All right, well, what device?
They show him the device. That's right, that big circle. The bigger they show him the device, the Stargate. They can't figure out the 7th symbol, and they haven't been able to do it for a long time. Dr. Jackson figures it out in 2 minutes.
Then they fired up the Stargate immediately. I got Johnny 5 here coming in.
Stargate!
Sent some sort of robot through.
And they get signals back from the probe, and the probe is okay.
Beam has locked itself onto a point somewhere in the Kalium galaxy.
Oh, I've always wanted to go there. Let's go, you guys. Let's just go.
Once on the other side, we'd have to decipher the markings on their gate in order to bring the team back.
Based on this new information, I don't see how we can do that.
Were they directed to deliver their lines in the most boring way possible?
Well, I could do that.
You're on the team.
You're on the team. So they decide to send people through, including Dr. Jackson.
I have something for you.
It's from the Titanic. I kept it.
It's a check for $5. I am a grandmother, after all.
It's Cole's cash.
The old lady gives Dr. Jackson a bauble of some sort to wear around his neck. This will become important later, obviously, or else she wouldn't give it to him. It's a movie. Movies do this. I don't need to explain this to you.
If anybody has anything to say, now's the time to say it.
I don't want to go.
They go through. They fly through space at fantastic speeds and end up in the desert. It looks like Egypt, but in fact, it's a different world. Colonel O'Neill says, "Okay, Jackson, do your stuff." And he says, "Well, I don't know what to do. We got to look around. These are different symbols. We have to go find them. Maybe there's another pyramid near here." O'Neill's frustrated. This is just like The Thing, except the desert instead of the tundra. And Kurt Russell doesn't have a beard instead of having a beard, and there's no thing. O'Neill's got this mysterious device that he's tinkering around with. There's that word. O'Neill's got this mysterious device that he's messing around with and is pretty secretive about.
Dr. Daniel Jackson
Sees footsteps in the sand. He follows them. He sees a strange creature that is unknown on Earth.
some sort of hippo yak.
Where's Jackson?
Maxin and relaxin'.
It is startled.
Oh, old Jackson's got himself into another pickle.
Let's see how he gets himself out of this bucket of syrup.
Okay, Jackson?
Was that ordeal taxing, Jackson? They happen upon a town in the desert. It's filled with humans. Jackson attempts to communicate with them. They see that symbol that he's wearing around his neck, and they all bow down to him. The leader of the town brings them in.
Ra. Ra?
Sis, boom, ba. They think that he's the sun god Ra.
Or related to Ra.
And there is a feast. Jackson is offered a woman. You'll finally lose that cursed virginity. He says, "No thanks."
See, we came from a pyramid. It's okay.
Never mind, I thought you were cool. No, it's alright. Yep. No, don't worry about it. I'll just find some chick who can, tell me what I need to know. Something flies out of space and lands.
Alright, spread out.
Spread out.
Kowalski, Brown, do you read?
I'm more into audiobooks, sir. Over. The Marines are being attacked by mysterious things. What could be happening? We'd better flip the DVD over and find out. Well, the movie has run out on this side. This DVD was apparently made at the dawn of DVDs, and so we have to flip it over to watch the rest of the movie. Please stand by. Colonel O'Neill goes looking for Dr. Jackson.
Jackson, guy wears his jacket. I'm on Planet X looking for a dweeb who wears green fatigues. He wears glasses and sneezes.
And just like that, Kurt Russell was leading an improv workshop. He's with this young lady. Oh, words. He's discovered what language she's speaking, and now they're able to speak fluently together. And she's told him some stuff.
So Ra is some sort of alien
who was dying.
He realized within a human body he had a chance for a new life.
Then Ra built the Stargate, went to Earth, and took a bunch of people from Earth to be slaves on this world to mine minerals for him that he needs for his travels. So these people in the town have been slaves their entire lives. Dr. Jackson has found almost all the symbols he needs to activate this Stargate, but he's missing the 7th symbol. They find this strange building that came out of space. They go inside. They are captured and brought before Ra. They try to escape. Jackson wakes up, he's in this chamber, and his wound has been healed. This is how Ra regenerates himself. O'Neill brought a bomb. No one really knows why. But Ra says, hey, I can take this bomb and make it even more powerful. I'm going to send it back through the Stargate and blow up where you came from.
Some Ras just like to watch the world burn.
Shouty? Shouty? Get low? A group of the slaves, including Sha'ari, who is Dr. Jackson's betrothed, they decide to stand up and revolt. They get a hold of some of the Marines' weaponry. Kill them, it is the way of Ra.
I hope he does it. And then they just roll credits.
They are rescued and taken into hiding. Hey!
And they're not exactly special forces, but...
That guy was in Stripes. He was the cruiser.
That guy?
Yeah. My favorite things are fast cars and fast women.
I'll intercept that bomb before you can send it through.
Why wasn't I told this?
Because there wasn't any reason to tell you.
Shut up, cruiser.
Don't you have people who care about you? Do you have a family?
I had a family.
Now I just have a dumb wife. Dr. Jackson and Sha'ari finally kiss. Not as hot as you'd hope.
It's pretty awkward, and it was hard to watch.
Previously, Jackson had only kissed hieroglyphics and stone tablets. Jackson's got the final symbol. It's time for them to go back through the Stargate. But...
Pew pew, he said.
Come on, buddy! Let's cruise! Hey, it's my bomb! You're going to go back through the Stargate, Jackson. I'm going to stay here and blow up this gate so there can't be any more going back and forth.
You got 7 minutes.
Let's see, I'll need 30 seconds to make love to my new wife. So that leaves me 6.5 minutes.
Oh, she's dead, so...
Oh, shoot. But Sha'ari, the woman, is shot. He uses this teleportation thing to go back to the regeneration chamber. He puts her in there so she can be healed. But time is ticking.
Ra gets sick of this and blasts off in his pyramid into space.
Jackson comes back with the woman. And now O'Neill wants to disarm the bomb, but he can't do it.
I've got an idea.
And they use the teleportation thing to teleport the bomb up to Ra in the spaceship. You done blowed up, son. No more Ra. Who's going to kiss me? Colonel O'Neill and the surviving Marines are going to go back through the Stargate.
Thanks, Daniel.
I live to cruise again. And Dr. Jackson is going to stay right here and learn what he can learn about these people.
You gonna be all right?
I'm gonna be all right. How about you?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't think this interstellar mission would bring me closure on my sadness.
Dr. Jackson?
Daniel, if you're nasty.
And that is the story of Stargate. Stargate.
Not great.
It's always such a shame when you have a movie that's made up of such cool parts.
Very great premise.
I'm not sure why it doesn't work. It seems to be a big lack of energy.
They put their time and energy into things like the suspense before the fight scenes and the fight scenes, which were just like, okay, I get, like, let's just get on to...
It's just running and yelling and shooting and jumping.
Yeah, skip that and tell more of the of the story.
And there's no sense of place during these fight scenes. There's no sense of what's being lost or who's being killed or who's being saved.
Just like it's bad news.
Right.
And I'm going to cock my gun 8 times in a 2.5 minute. Let's get to whatever's happening.
Yeah. And even when there are mysteries being solved, clues being followed, you just find your attention wandering away.
Yeah.
This is an alien planet, but it's essentially Earth.
They have a derivative of the language based on ancient, Egyptian.
Whatever, yeah.
But it's changed. I was like, let's talk more about that. Like how language changed. But then Kurt Russell was just, I'm annoyed and I can't wait to kill myself with this bomb that I turn on and can't turn off, and then I'm mad at everybody else.
Kurt Russell works best when you give him a personality. If he's just this stoic jarhead, why cast him? Cast, someone else.
He looked really good. And Spader was doing that the whole time, too. There's just, that was a better sneeze than he did in any of his 15 sneezes.
It was a real sneeze.
It was a real sneeze!
Those guys with those big headdresses who were barking all the time, it just looked silly.
It sounded silly.
They didn't seem menacing. They didn't seem scary.
Do you think people thought it was good when it came out?
No, they did not. This was a big flop.
I am so happy to hear that. That means that we were okay 30 years ago.
And I think that everyone else who was involved with all of these side projects saw the potential of this, saw that it was unrealized potential, and said we can do better.
And there's so much to do. Let's get MacGyver on it.
Well, there's a actor in this movie who, for me, is more well-known from a different movie. His name is John Deal. What's his deal? He was in the movie Stripes.
Yes.
With Bill Murray. He played a character called the Cruiser. And I have seen that guy in a lot of things. He's done a lot of movies, and he's done a lot of TV, and he's always got that dopey, dumb look. He will always be that guy who, when Sergeant Hulka says to him, there ain't no more draft, and he goes, there was one? He's always going to be that guy.
What was the name of the actor who was wearing the Cosby sweater?
That was Richard Kind.
I liked him. The sweater was a real bold choice. That's all I remember.
I think that's sweater threw you for the whole first act of the movie.
Yeah, I was like, until we flipped the DVD, I still had that sweater burned in my head. Would you wear a sweater like that in a military installation? Look at that thing. I must have missed the part where they knew what the Stargate was. I mean, the military's trying to set up the Stargate. It's going to go somewhere, and their first thought is we're going to send about 6 people with guns, a professor, and a bomb to blow everything up in case there's something dangerous on the other side.
That's a good point.
What are we doing?
What is the mission?
Did you know what the hell was going on with that?
No, not really. They're going through the Stargate because now they've activated the Stargate. What else are they going to do? Not go through it?
This is true. I think I would have not liked it in 1994 too. If I was on a date and I took somebody to see that, sorry, that's a wasted trip to Fond du Lac. That would have been.
The Stargate is closed, and we are done talking about it. And right now it's time for us to blast on over to another part of the show called Seen It.
Blast!
Christopher Mott, Sling Blade. I had some of them French fried taters, and I've also seen it.
I remember liking it.
Did you ever see the original short film that it was based on? With Molly Ringwald?
Yeah. I didn't like that as much.
Well, it's a character with a backstory that really begs for a full-length movie.
Yes.
The short film is not enough.
No.
The scene I remember most in Sling Blade is when Dwight Yoakam, who plays a real bastard.
Yeah.
It's that scene where he's talking to the family. Hey, everybody. I've been kind of a jerk lately.
Yes.
But I'm going to be much better from now on. And everyone is just like, oh my God, we're never going to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be in our lives forever, and
I hadn't realized that's Dwight Yoakam. You're right.
Yeah.
He did really well in that movie.
He's a great actor.
He's a very good actor. CJ, 1994, 1222. Just watched Full Metal Jacket. Didn't love it as much as I do now when I first saw it. Now I think it might be Kubrick's masterpiece.
Seen it.
I remember not loving it.
The first part of the movie is a lot better than the second.
Yes, that's the part too.
As soon as they leave boot camp.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what are we doing? This feels like a different movie now.
It feels like boot camp is the movie. The purpose of boot camp is to take these guys and just break their egos down. Break them down until they become orders following machines.
Yes.
So they'll get an order, they won't question it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that it does is breaks down their humanity.
Yeah.
So they become killing machines.
Yes.
which is really the dark side of that. Particularly when one of them becomes a killing machine a bit too early.
The fear, because they're all scared, and how everybody's fear comes out in different ways, and just the abuse and manipulation of, what's his name?
R. Lee Ermey?
That's it. R. Lee Ermey did an amazing job.
He truly acted himself into a career corner.
Yes.
Like, he would never be any other role than that guy. Ian DeLuca finally saw Scarface, and wow, I thought it would be boring like The Godfather. Ian. I thought it would be boring like The Godfather, but it moved along relatively quick and completely justified its massive runtime. Seen it!
The Godfather's not boring. Maybe if you're under a certain age and you see it.
Maybe.
Actually, no, of course. Of course you would. Like, that's not how movies are. That's like when you're trying to get your kid into fantasy novels and you're like, read The Hobbit, and they're just like, what the
It's so much walking.
Why are the songs a page long and in italics? Like, that's just not meant for children nowadays.
Yeah.
I think The Godfather's like that for people in the age of 35. I'm just saying, this is the way the world is.
Well, we're talking about Scarface.
Yeah. Not boring.
No. There's never been a scene like that chainsaw scene.
That was a tough one.
I think everyone who sees that scene feels a little bit like they were in that shower.
Yep. For the most part, he kept his integrity. Like, what got him was the paranoia.
The paranoia, the drugs, and the fact that he basically falls in love with his sister.
Yeah, that's not great. That's
kind of
got
seems
some,
like that.
Yeah, he's
that
got
happened.
some problems.
Yeah.
But that all happened once he kind of got to the top. How he got there, I don't know, it seems pretty legit.
Not legit.
But
Definitely
it's
not
like,
legit.
in my mind, it's kind of like, well, I don't know, he seemed like a decent guy. This is the takeaway.
All right. You shouldn't watch that movie anymore. If you think Tony Montana's a decent guy,
I'm saying
you shouldn't watch that movie anymore.
It's not everything's wrong with it. What, you know.
Yeah, go watch The Godfather and go to sleep.
Yeah, I can't. The boring Godfather.
I'm going to throw you out of this house when we're done.
Junior Salt watched 7 for the first time this year. Did not like it at all. Yeah, it's not a happy film.
I saw it in the theater, and I was so disturbed by it that it made me angry.
Rage, would you say?
And I vowed never to watch it again, and I've never watched it again.
Wow. Did you not enjoy it?
I was so disturbed by it, I thought I never want to see this or think about it again.
Yeah. It's incredibly disturbing.
From the first second.
Yep, real
to
early
the
on.
end of it.
Yes.
Great cast, and some of the shots, is that Fincher?
Right?
Some of the shots I still remember. I still remember what they look like.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe I will watch it again. Maybe it's been long enough.
I mean, if you haven't seen it in 30 years, it's, give it a swing.
You can go through your personal internet portal and go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. There is our entire back catalog there, every episode we've ever made, including the other one that Paul Guzzi was in, where we watched American Gigolo.
Yes.
That was a good time. And there are PayPal donation buttons that you can click on and make a one-time or rolling monthly donation to support this show. Our one-time and rolling monthly donors are so important, and we so appreciate it. Paul will be here next week for unboxing. We're going to open the mail. We're going to answer questions, and there'll be maybe a few surprises. We'll see you then. Now take a look at this.
Bye! I have a new son.
Boy, I sure wish there was going to be some sequels to this turkey so I could teach that kid some stuff.